Orioles unmasked in Birdland at 45,000 for the first game of the doubleheader. Those are the lines for the ball game tonight. Another 44,000 plus are expected for this game, and maybe more, because it is a beautiful evening here in Baltimore. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. Welcome. For those lucky enough to get into the ballpark for this game, they may see the Orioles move into first place. As a result of the games that have taken place today, the Orioles with a victory, a sweep of this doubleheader, indeed will have a percentage advantage and be in first place in the division. We'll see if they can get it done. Here's how they got it done in the first game. Ubaldo Jimenez, the Orioles starter, was absolutely outstanding. There's the line. No runs, only 4 hits, 8 innings. He did not walk a batter for the 3rd time this year and had 7 strikeouts. He's now 5-1 here at Camden Yards with an ERA of 2.06 on the year. Jimenez got the win, and Jimenez got the help. Jimmy Paredes delivering yet another long ball home run. That one off Trevor Bauer, good for 2 RBIs. And the Orioles weren't done in that department. Manny Machado continued his hit streak, couple of hits, including that one, and the Orioles were on their way to a shutout. Jim Palmer, a very impressive and a dominating first game win.
Well, it really was. And, they can beat you so many different ways. They've now won 17 out of the last 22 games. We saw on Friday night they get out homered 3-0. But the big hits, the bullpen comes in. Probably, since April 28th, the best bullpen in the American League. So it really comes down to your starting pitching. I've never seen Ubaldo as good as he was. Tillman has to stay away from the big inning and start throwing strikes, get ahead of the hitters. And I'll tell you what, it's never easy to pitch, but it makes it a lot less difficult.
All right. It's Sunday Night Baseball here at Camden Yards. Great to have you with us. And when we come back, we'll join a few other fans who are picking up their gnomes for the night game. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Smythe Jewelers, where Maryland gets engaged. What a gorgeous evening here at Camden Yards. Take a look at our BGE home game time temperature. We are at 77 degrees. Same place we were when we started for game 1. And the humidity going down. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Crowd continuing to file in. Here's the lineup they'll see for the Indians. Kipnis, Lindor, Brantley, Murphy, Santana, and Moss. Aviles, Bourne, and Perez will do the catching. Kipnis, last 10. There are the numbers. He had his 20-game hit streak ended in the first game today.
And let's take a look at Chris Tillman. Comes in at 5-7. At one point was 2-7. So it's a season struggle. It's just been one of those years. Last year, 13 wins, 16 the year before. 1 and 7. Then he won 3 in a row. No decision. Better command. Walks up. Strikeouts down. Hard to strike people out when you're ball 1, ball 2. And then Nome on the range. 23 and 19. ERA of about 4 runs a game here in Camden Yards over his career. Orioles play a lot better at home, as of course they are a winning ball club. What, about 12 games over 500? So hopefully he'll be part of that party. And you can see the inflated numbers there, much higher than last year, and a lot of them has to do with the fact that he's played Toronto. I mean, he's got 3 losses against Toronto and a non-decision in his last start where they got him 7 runs in the first and he couldn't get out of the second inning.
TJ McFarland has been added as the 26th player for this game 2 of the doubleheader, as you're allowed to do. So TJ again back on the Orioles roster for this one. Pitch on the way, and we're underway. Strike taken. So Kipnis, who had the longest streak going in the majors, the 20-game hit streak, and that was ended as he picked up an 0 for 4 in the first game this afternoon. But still, obviously, a very hot bat. Orioles have done a good job holding him down here in this 3-game set so far. He is just 1 for 9. Career versus Tillman, 1 home run included. 1-1 delivery on the way. The soft pitch is going to miss up high and away. 2-1.
Yeah, fastball, curveball, changeup pitcher. Throws an occasional cut fastball. It's somewhere in between a slider and a cutter.
2-1 delivery on the way to him. Kipnis will foul that one back. So to the Orioles' favor today, both Tampa Bay and the Yankees lost. We'll update you as we go along tonight on some of the particulars of those games. So the Orioles find themselves just a half game out of first place, and in fact a real good shot getting there tonight. And a swing and a miss on a pitch away.
Boy, everybody they say about Chris Tillman, I mean, we'll see him occasionally. This is going to be about 92. He'll hit 93, 4. Opening day a couple of years ago, 95, but everybody says, why is he so hard to hit when the average fastball is around 91? And it's because of the angle. And that ball just kind of up and away to a guy that came into this doubleheader leading the American League in hits.
That pitch will be taken down low for a ball. Lindor, their youngster at short, a couple of hits and 8 at bats in the series. And that pitch on a check swing is going to be there. Ron Kalpa's the home plate umpire for this game. They bring in an extra umpire for the doubleheaders. Kalpner did not work in game 1, so he comes on and works behind the plate. Larry Vanover, who had the plate, is off for this second game. And a 2-ball 1-strike count on Lindor. He'll be followed by Brantley. Indians have lost 12 of their last 18. They've fallen 11 games behind now in their division. 2-1 pitch on the way, and lofts that one the other way foul.
Yeah, good fastball for Chris here in the first inning, and that's a good sign. There are games, not that he can't pitch well in them, but he'll start out at 88, 89, 91, 92. Now he does have 6 days between starts. Got to throw on the side an additional time, and trying to establish that curveball. He only throws about, even when he won 13 games, throws about 45%, less than 50 of them for strikes. So the other pitch, of course, is the changeup, and got to locate it a little bit better than
3-2, and he gets him 2 Ks.
And there are some days where your best pitch, you don't know what it is coming out of the bullpen, but it appears to me here in the first, and again we're only through 2 batters, it's his heater. Perfect pitch, very much exactly the same pitch as he threw to Jason Kipnis.
So there are 2 down. Here's Brantley, designated hitter, 3 for 9, lifetime off Tillman. Good numbers on the year. For Chris Tillman, it's his 7th career start against Cleveland, 3-2, ERA of 4.7 over the years against the Indians. And that pitch is going to be there for a strike. His first outing was on June 5 against Cleveland. This year, his only outing. Couple of runs, 6 hits over 6 1/3 innings. Got the win, snapped a career-long 6-game losing streak in that ball game. And that one will miss up high. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Jimenez has set quite the bar for game 2 after his performance in game 1. There he is, Ubaldo on the right. And with Bud Norris, another starter. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. And that one in the air to left field, slicing away. Playable, stays up. Snyder there. And Tillman starts with a 1-2-3 inning. We'll take a look at the Orioles lineup when we come back. There you go. Keep it up. Okay, good job. Let's take a look at the O's starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Machado, Parmalee, Paredes, Davis, Wieters, and Snyder. Hardy, Flaherty, and Lowe. Manny Machado, 7 multi-hit games in the last 11.
I'm working with Lawrence Welk. What a night. Anyway, Karu Murata, Major League debut. Boy, signed out of Osaka, Japan, minor league guy for the last, 5-6 years. Signed with Yomiuri Giants, never really made it out. So Major League debut, starter stuff. He's got 4 pitches. And he who hesitates is lost. No, actually, he who hesitates actually can have a pretty deceptive windup, and he's kind of got that in his repertoire. So throws a lot of strikes, got a splitter as that 4th pitch.
30 years old, and the first pitch will miss down low for a ball. They will throw that one out of the game. That'll be a souvenir, as Murata is now officially in the major leagues.
And his last start was against the Orioles AAA affiliate, Norfolk. So they said he's kind of like Tasoshi Wada, who actually pitched for the Orioles, but never in the big leagues because he got hurt, but did pitch against them last year for the Cubs.
Cleveland folks saying his fastball won't probably hit 90, and it'll be a lot of off-speed stuff. Pitch to place. 2-0 delivery on the way. Manny Machado had to go after that, breaking down. First base side. Called off. Played by Kipnis. Second baseman puts it away, and Machado's retired.
Yeah, a lot of mixed signals in the first game for the Indies, especially in the infield. Murphy, Bourne, and Moss. That's your outfield. Moss, the DH in the first game. Aviles played Friday. He comes in playing third. Lindor, Kipnis, Santana, and then Perez doing the catching.
Parmalee coming up. Chris Parmalee back at first base. He's had a 2 for 7 in the 2 games in this series, Friday and this afternoon. Of course, with the rain out yesterday. That's why we're playing a doubleheader. First pitch hit center field. Michael Bourne. He's got it. Let's look at our Jeep Inside the Numbers. This series with the Indians, this is the last one to be played.
Yeah, so they out-homer him on Friday. The Orioles still win. You can see, again, pretty much all phases of the game with the exception of the batting average. The Orioles have gotten the big hits. That's what they do, is better than anybody in baseball. Hitting well over 300 runners in scoring position.
Designated hitter Paredes coming up. Buck Showalter's ball club. Just a half a game out of first, while going the other way. Terry Francona's team now 33 and 40. And they are 11 out. 2 down. Paredes continues his hit streak. I will say one thing about Murata, the pitcher. I have never seen this, I don't think, before. In the announcement put out by the Indians that he would be added to the roster for Game 2, there was an additional final sentence. It reads, Murata will be optioned to Columbus following the conclusion of tonight's game. I mean, before you even throw a pitch, you already know you're going back down.
Well, that's what they do. Doubleheader, you get to add that 26th player.
Give him a chance. Yeah. Swung on and missed 1 and 2.
Well, if you mix up your pitches, 88 can get a lot of guys out. And we saw Wada do that in Wrigley Field last year against the Orioles. I think that was a Sunday afternoon game. And that split-fingered fastball can be very effective. We saw how good Domenic's was in the first game.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way. Came inside and missed with it. And the count goes to 2-2. Murata with the Yomiuri Giants 3 years. He went 2-10 with an ERA of 4.56. That pitch is going to be outside. He was converted when he came to play ball in the U.S. to a reliever. And then in 2013, they transitioned him back to being a starter again in his time with Columbus that year. 3-2 pitch on the way. Paredes will pop that one up inside out left field. Murphy coming over. He's got a bead on it, and that will do it. So both pitchers retire the side in order, and the second game of our doubleheader underway. No score. Reminders, you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Adam got the Buck Showalter gnome out just a moment ago, put it up on the railing, and Lord only knows what's going to happen tonight.
Well, we've seen rabbit ears, we've seen all kinds of stuff. Well, this is a big night for the gnome, because if he doesn't win, it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's history.
Well, it's the only night for the gnome, actually. So
not for. No. I mean, it's a keepsake.
It is.
Or kind of.
David Murphy. Murphy 0 for 4 in the couple of games played here at Camden Yards. He's got good numbers off Tillman, 5 for 15. 0-1 pitch to him, and Murphy will take it outside for a ball.
Do we have like a 7-second delay on our broadcast? Because
there's no
we don't. Okay,
no.
So I can't tell you how Buck really feels about it.
No.
Loves it.
Loves it. Just loves it. Pitch on the way, grounded to the hole. Nice stop made. Flaherty up. Nope. Couldn't get a grip on it. Knocked it down. Couldn't find the handle. And Murphy will be on with the first hit of the ball game. A single leading off the second.
Take a look, and we talked about command issues. Right here, this is a very difficult play because it's hit very hard. And the reason he hits it as hard as he does is because Weeder sits away and the ball is down and in. So Murphy hits it a lot harder. You're playing up the middle. You got to go a little bit farther. The ball, the harder it's hit, harder to catch to, and when you do, sometimes it doesn't stay in the glove. But just those little things, and of course, we know the Indians are looking for something to kickstart their offense today. It certainly was in Ubaldo Jimenez.
Wind blowing out to right. Left-handers should be helped on any ball put up in the air, at least for the start of the ball game. Pitch taken for a ball. Santana has a 1 for 8 going in the series. 1-0 count, shift on against him at double play depth. And a big cut. And that's the way he's been swinging in the 3 games played here in Baltimore.
And it's not that he can't hit these pitches. We saw him take a Baldo in Cleveland last year. I mean, over the center field fence on a ball this high. Of course, you bring that ball down about 3-4 inches, is a lot more hittable.
Pitch on the way, and he puts that one off the end of the bat, left center field, traveling, wind blowing it a little, but playable. Snyder's got it. Runner was at second. He's got to go all the way back. That ball carried pretty well. Antenna retired. Celebrate summer at Oriole Park. Pick up the Birdland Summer 6-pack. Any 6 remaining throughout the year. Up to 20% off the cost of single game tickets. And you pick the plan. You can do rivalry games, promotions like bobblehead dates, fireworks night, t-shirt night, your choice. Go to Orioles.com/6-pack for information. Brandon Moss coming up. Moss with a 1 for 12. Lifetime off Tillman. Runner at first base, short lead Murphy. And the pitch will be taken for a ball. For Tillman, the lefty's at 275. Right-handers 300 against him. An enormous jump from last year in both cases, but particularly for the right-handers. 1-0 pitch. Last year the lefties hit 249. This year 275. Last year the right-handers hit 225, and this year 75 points higher at 300. 1-1. Outfield moving a pretty much straight up on this count, and he goes through the fastball.
Yeah, Moss such a good high fastball hitter and still didn't get to it. But then again, first curveball he got over tonight was to Brandon Moss. You can see right up there trying to pitch him up and away.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Tillman, fly ball pitcher. Fouled away. Holds the count at 1-2. For Moss against the Orioles on the year, hitting 235. He's had 1 home run, couple of RBIs against the Orioles this season.
Well, his last time up against Baldo Jimenez just missed a home run. I mean, skied it maybe a quarter of an inch and would have been way out of here.
1-2 delivery to him, and he takes up and away. Sun field, right field. Sunset time here in Baltimore. It's going down. The only sun remaining out there, showing in right, as you can see.
Yeah, it's almost like it was this morning. It was perfectly clear about 8, and it clouded up, and now hardly, I can't see a cloud.
Beautiful evening. 2-2 pitch on the way, and that'll be foul back. So Moss hanging tough.
See, the difference, if you want to contrast the Orioles starting pitcher Ubaldo Jimenez, who pitched 8 shutout innings, is that he had the splitter to strike people out and get the ground ball. Tilly doesn't really have that. I mean, he's a fastball, occasional, as we mentioned, curveball, changeup guy.
Runner off first, 2-2 delivery, and a tapper. Tillman will look to first and only first, and into the runner, gets him. Good play by Parmalee at first. Took the helmet off of Moss as he was going by, but he held on to it.
Yeah, it looked like the ball crawled up his hand because he ends up bare-handing it. What's this? He's right there. I mean, almost like he had a 1-finger grip. And, of course, Parmalee, great senses over there. The ability to come up the line and get it before it hit Moss.
So here's the first scoring opportunity of the ball game. Second inning, 2 down. Aviles, who did not play in the first game of the doubleheaders, 1 for 4 in the series. He gets the opportunity to put Cleveland on top. Pitch on the way to him, and that will be taken down low for a ball. Again, this ball club struggles. They've not had a hit with a runner in scoring position in this series. If I've got my numbers right, they're 0 for 4 in the 2 games that have been played here. 0 for 2 in each game. Not many chances. 1-0 delivery, and that's going to be foul back. And we'll see whether or not Aviles can break that string. He's hitting only .211 in these situations. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. 2 away, runner off second base, Murphy. And that one off the end of the bat and back into the screen. So Tillman will get ahead of him, 1-2. This is where the Indians, as we said, have struggled all year. It's trying to get these runners in. They get them on. A lot of walks. Can't get them home. 1-2 pitch on the way, and that'll be up high for a ball. Going through the Oriole lineup, the starter tonight over there on the bench of the Indians. 2-2. Tillman's delivery to him, and that'll be foul back.
Yeah, most teams, when you have Chinese, Japanese, you have a translator or an aide. Not sure that the Indians have that because this is, as you mentioned, a one-day start for Murata.
2-2. Runner off second. And another one foul back. Go along at bat. Aviles here fighting them off. We'll have at least 7 pitches in this at bat.
Yeah, Murata threw 10 pitches, and Tillman, that was pitch number 33. And his pitch count, at least coming into this game, about 17.5 an inning.
2-2, and the count's full. So a 3-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, Mike Aviles has always been a good fastball hitter, so he's fouled off the good ones, and Chris has kept him out of the middle of the plate. And then he throws him a slider, and it misses, so now what? And you're kind of wondering because, again, you know, this is the first right-handed batter he's faced in the lineup. So things look a little different.
3-2. Tillman's delivery to him, and the ball's hit off the end of the bat. Right field. That'll be handled. Chris Davis out there to get it. Aviles retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. Chris Davis will lead it off when we come back. Frederick has won 500 for being selected, 500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play Baseball Bucks scratch-offs, win up to $50,000, or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Chris Davis will be leading it off. Davis, Wieters, and Snyder. Chris with the base hit in the first ball game, and as usual, getting it for an RBI, a double. Extended his hit streak to 7 games. And the pitch to him is off the fist. Shortstop Lindor goes back. They were in that shift. So Davis is retired on 1 pitch.
Well, they always say the advantage if you don't see somebody, even though they did look at some film, goes to the pitcher. So that's 4 up, 4 down. All that was a little cutter, but almost like a fastball. So 4 outs, all on fastballs. And as you mentioned, he's not going to hit 90. Has the same wind of Hiroki Kuroda, who pitched great for the Yankees. And I think he's still pitching in Japan, but no longer here.
Now he threw a lot harder, but same kind of pitch repertoire, but not the velocity.
First delivery. That'll be on the outside corner for a strike at 86. Matt Wieters getting the opportunity here in this ball game. Extra day off for him yesterday. There's another one, softer than the one before. 67.
There you go. And Teru, Murata, he's just going to go do his thing until they do something to make him change.
Murata will miss up high, and a 1-ball 2-strike count. In the minors this year, he was 5-3 with an ERA of 2.79. 13 starts, 14 games, and lefties righties almost the same. 250 left-handers, 240 right-handers. And that's at AAA. 2-ball 2-strike count. Wieters to be followed by Snyder. Matt will loop that one down the line and foul.
Yes, you learn a little bit about him. There's a splitter, 3-2, doesn't care. Actually 2-2. A lot of it's 3-2. I use all the pitches, but we come out and watch BP. They know what's coming. Guys are hitting pop-ups, ground balls to people. It gives you an impetus to throw the ball over, and it doesn't appear that he's afraid to do that.
2-ball 2-strike count. That'll be hit to second. Kipnis on the backhand. Took a pretty good skip on him. And Wieters is retired. 2 down. Good play. Kipnis staying with it. 2 down, bases empty. Tomorrow, Oriole infielder Jimmy Paredes signing autographs, meeting fans 11 to noon. This will be at the official Orioles team store, York Galleria. And Jim Henneman, the author, will be on hand signing copies of the Orioles' new legacy book, 60 Years of Orioles Magic. You can meet them both tomorrow, 11 a.m. to noon. That'll be at the York Galleria at the official Orioles team store. Another off-speed delivery in for a strike. Snyder's had an 0 for 4. Playing in the games here in this series against the Indians. 269 on the year for him. 0-1 delivery. Thought about it. Did he go? Nope. Kobe Basner down at third.
Yeah, Travis, Royals facing Corey Kluber, last year Cy Young Award winner. He struck out the first 3 times on Friday night. Really got pitched to.
1-1 delivery on the way. Fisted. Back, and it'll be over the screen.
That's a pretty effective pitch, Gary. So you're 88, maybe 89, and then you have that little cutter that acts like a slider. You don't pick up the spin. And it looks to me, since he got Davis out on it, is that he can command it pretty well. So for Snyder, he wants to get his arms extended, and he's trying to pitch him in.
How's that one right straight back? Murata throwing some strikes here. The Orioles with a victory in the afternoon game. Now a season high 6 games over 500. 40-34. They've won 6 of their last 7, with Jimenez getting the victory in the afternoon game. Probably his best performance of the year. 1-2 pitch. Snyder ground ball. Again, Kipnis over and right under his glove. An error on Kipnis, who made the immortal mistake for infielders. If you can get in front of it, do. If you play it on the side, chances for that happening increase.
Yeah, you know, I used to watch some of our second basemen, you know, for a while, and most second basemen find that if you sometimes get the balls that don't get in front of them, they sometimes the beneficent scorers will actually give the other people hits, but that was an obvious error. Ryan Flaherty, I watched him in the first game. He got in front of a ball that he could have easily backhanded, and he did it the right way.
So the Orioles get a break to keep the inning alive. And the pitch is going to miss. 2 down. Hardy up. AJ with the 1 for 6 in the series continues to pick up big hits. Snyder on at first base with the error. And that one in the gap, left center field. Orioles going to try and take advantage of it, and it goes off the base of the wall. Snyder coming to third. He's going to be held up. Throw to the plate. He goes back to third base. Snyder coming around. Bobby Dickerson with a stop sign up. A double for Hardy.
Yeah, you run with 2 outs as hard as you can, and then of course Bourne plays it very well off the wall because it short hopped it, and then Bobby Dickerson is exactly where he wants at third base for the Orioles to see how all of this is kind of going down. We've seen Hardy with a home run Friday. So right here, you're not even looking. You're coming around third. You can see Bourne, the top of your picture, hits the cutoff man. Now, the one thing that Bobby Dickerson doesn't know, that Lindor is not going to make a good throw. But any kind of decent throw, and he's out at home plate.
So here's Ryan Flaherty, 360 with runners in scoring position. He's got 2 of them.
And nothing to show in the first game. Hit 3 balls on the nose.
His pitch to him will be inside for a ball.
He'd like just fist one like he did Friday night into center field for a couple of runs.
Again, the Orioles a chance to jump on the Indians, who did not score in the first game of the doubleheader. 1-0 pitch on the way. Flaherty will take that one at the knees for a strike. Jonathan Scope around the ballpark. What he will do after this game, the Orioles have not announced whether he's going to go back down to the minors and play some more, whether there'll be a roster change. Scope's here watching. He's ready.
And the Orioles are a better team when he's playing, if he's healthy. And all appearances tell you that's the story.
1 ball, 1 strike delivery. There's another base hit. That'll score Snyder. Hardy's going to be waved around. Here's the throw by Moss. They cut it off. Flaherty at it again. A 2-0 lead on a single for Ryan Flaherty.
Well, it's all about getting good pitches to hit. Now, 3 really good quality at bats. But the fact that Scope is sitting there on the bench, not active, he allows to play. And then right here, it's a bullet. Santana can't get it. Kipnis error. Kind of a redo of what went on with the Indians last year. One of the worst defensive teams in baseball. And the Kipnis error allows them, the Orioles, to stay on the field, and they take the 2-0 lead.
That's 20 RBIs for Ryan Flaherty on the season. In an inning that should have been over, everything that scored here is going to be an unearned run. Here's David Lowe. Did not play in the first game. 0 for 2 in the series. 2 down, and the pitch in there for a strike. The Orioles 2 runs on 2 hits. Nope, the Orioles, something else they do. They're opportunistic. Open a door, give them the extra out. They will take advantage of that. And it means getting people on base. They can get them around. Perez set up outside, and the pitch to Lowe's fouled away.
And you know Kipnis is a pretty good second baseman. And
yeah.
But what happens is you got a kid that comes up to the big leagues. I mean, he's 30, but it's a kid in the sense this is his major league debut. You either get him off the field or you don't. They don't. And then Hardy gets a good pitch to hit, and same with Flaherty, and he's down 2-0. And this isn't Felix Hernandez who can pitch his way out of trouble.
0-2 the count. Flaherty, very short lead at first. 2-strike pitch to Lowe is up a little bit, but he fought it off. And it'll stay at 2 strikes.
Yeah, George Will, when he wrote that book, I mean, years and years and years ago, Men at Work, talked about the crisis time for pitchers. Well, first inning, when you go out there from the bullpen, guy makes an error behind you, big lead going into the 5th inning. Can you get them out when they make a mistake? Well, not everybody can do that. You try to do it. The other team has another velocity. They're going to try to make you pay for it.
Inside to him, 1-2. Cutting that one down and into him. The Orioles won the opener on just 6 hits. They got 4 runs, 6 hits in the game. Cleveland had no runs on 4. And Showalter's team again coming through when they had scoring opportunities. And for Terry Francona, runners, the few they got left on base, 6 of them. The off-speed pitch way outside. That one just floating away. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. So after a quick first inning, doubling up on the number of pitches thrown here in the second. Two. Not a big lead Flaherty not going to get picked off over there. And Murata's delivery to him, and that one's going to be fought back by Lowe. Well, the Orioles have had a couple of at-bats where they've provided some souvenirs to the folks. There's pitches all over the place.
I think some of them are not by design.
Again, the 2-2. Lowe takes. 3-2.
Very close, but this is the big leagues. AAA down at Columbus. Maybe they'll chase younger hitters, less experience. Here you take it to get to maybe a better pitch to hit.
8th pitch of the at bat coming. 3-2. Runner will go. Santana plays behind Flaherty now at first base. But close enough to take a throw. So Flaherty is careful as Santana backs off at first. 3-2. Runner going. Ball put up in the air. Shallow center. Going back Lindor, the shortstop. And he will make the catch. Lowe's retired, but the Orioles come away with a couple of runs. They're both unearned. Flaherty picks up the 2 RBIs. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. 2-0 lead. Who knows? Only the gnome knows. The gnome has made its way to the bullpen, observing. And the pitch will be taken away for a ball. So Tillman with a couple of runs to work with. Bourne leading it off. 2 for 10 lifetime off Tillman. Perez to follow, and then Kipnis at the top of the order. Tillman will get that one in there for a strike.
Well, shut him down if you can, and then let the Orioles build against the guy just called up from the minors.
Ground ball to second. Ryan Flaherty over to get it. One away. Our PNC minor league report.
Well, Kevin Gausman. So 3 innings, and you're probably wondering, well, why, if he's a starter, did he only pitch 3 innings? And that's probably because they're going to need a starter on Thursday. So the merry-go-round will not stop. T.J. McFarland called for here. And then, of course, he's only the 26th guy, so they're going to have to make maybe another move.
Probably. TJ will be here for 1 game. Possible he could be sent down there. But Showalter still talking about how many they're going to have in the bullpen. He was 1 shy, really, in the bullpen for game 1. That's why the Jimenez 8-inning performance was so important, as the bullpen was kept virtually fresh for game 2.
And then he said if they would have played yesterday, one of the writers asked him, okay, do off days, even though they weren't scheduled off days, actually help you? And said, well, they can help and hurt you. Yesterday, guys that weren't available are now available for today. And then you have a doubleheader, and then in the second game you go to 7 guys in your bullpen.
Perez did not play in the first game of the doubleheader. Has not been in the series. Doing the catching. 1-2 delivery to him down to first and fair. That just went over the bag. Chased down by Davis into the corner. Perez will make a turn. Davis with a chance. Here's the throw. One hopper not in time. Good throw held onto by Hardy somehow, but he stayed on the bag. So Perez gets a double.
A little bit unlucky ground ball, but he's so late on it, hits it right over the bag. And Chris Davis going to make a nice play. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's late. It's almost by him, and it's inside the bag. Watch how quickly he gets to this ball. And then by doing it, this throw is, and again, the tag with the new replay rules, tag and hold. Can't do it in the NFL. Well, you can do it in the NFL. You may get called for a penalty, but in baseball, it's the new tagology.
Tagology.
I don't know where
I
doubleheader
like
anything could come up.
Tagology. Here's Jason Kipnis, top of the order, strikeout victim. It is in there for a strike.
I think Mike Bordick might have used that in just a passing comment. Yep. Tagology. Nobody did it better than he did.
Tagology.
Tagology. Or maybe not. You Maine guys come up with a lot of terms.
Because we create a new language. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way, and Tillman will miss with it. Kipnis now 3 out of 9. Lifetime off Tillman. 0 for 1 in the ball game for Cleveland with runners in scoring position. Another shot at it here. They're up to an 0 for 6 in the series against the Orioles. 1-1 delivery on the way. We get that one by him at 93.
Yeah, really good fastball tonight. You know, probably the curveball. It's as good as I've seen it in recent games. But the fastball a little bit crisp, and did get the extra 2 days. So he's pitching really with once a week. Last Sunday against Toronto, and then tonight.
And reaches and fouls that one back.
Needless to say, if you're leading the league in base hits, and you come in hitting .351 in that first game of the doubleheader, you're hitting pretty well in runners in scoring position. .340 coming into the afternoon.
Manny gets a big hand. He picked up the hot dog wrapper going in front of him cleanly, I might add. 1 ball, 2 strike count. The runner at second, 1 down, and just missed.
And he also feels good. 94. I haven't seen that in a while.
So Tillman goes 2 balls, 2 strikes. Perez at second. Average speed at best. Hardy holding him close. 2-2 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss.
Yeah, good movement. So the 20-game hit streak ends in the first game, and watch this ball move just enough run. You know, it's a 4-seam fastball. You can see him pulling down, and it just has a little side action. And you can see outside third of the plate.
Kipnis has had 6 at bats in the doubleheader, and he's struck out 4 times. 2 down. Francisco Lindor up. He was a strikeout victim in the first inning, and he will take the pitch for a strike. So now they're trying for the 2-out RBI. Orioles have the 2-0 lead on the Flaherty base hit that drove in 2. Outfield shortens up a little bit on Lindor. 0-1 pitch to him is up high. 1-1.
Yeah, Lindor comes from Caguas, Puerto Rico, and when I played winter ball for Frank Robinson. Boy, they had some good. Felix Millan was on that team. Willie Montañez. A nice little team in Caguas, one of the Winter League cities. Perez, who doubles from Mayaguez.
Tillman a look, and the 1-1. That'll bounce. Good stop made by Wieters. Holds Perez at second base. Matt close to going back-to-back games, according to manager Buck Showalter, which means he's ready to do it right now. Buck won't say that sort of thing unless it has come to pass that he's ready. Now it's just a matter of timing, schedule. Caleb Joseph catching the first game and coming through for the Orioles. Run scored, base hit.
Well, and the other thing is he caught a shutout. So you got to feel pretty comfortable. I think the Orioles, last time I looked, they were 11-1 in games that Matt Wieters has started. So he's had a lot to do with that. And plus, they're playing a lot better brand of baseball.
3 ball, 1 strike count with 2 away. Tillman's delivery to him, and again, very late on that fastball.
Yeah, longtime scout, manager, bench coach Bob Schaefer saying, boy, the high fastball is hard to hit because it looks so good. And then when you go to hit it, it's hard to get on top of it.
3-2. Indoor, just safety. Swing to foul it away. Half a cut.
Yeah, well, that keeps the bat alive.
Absolutely.
And, you know, if you're Terry Francona and Ty Van Berkeley, their hitting instructor, saying, well, I like that adjustment for a young hitter. Threw it by me, shortened my swing, made it a little bit quick.
3-2 delivery on the way to him, and he went up and got him. So Tillman's got 4 strikeouts, 2 in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. The Bud Norris designed My Home, My Team Orioles t-shirt next in the team's player designed t-shirt series. Celebrate your home team with this great Orioles collectible. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer with you here at Camden Yards. Another big crowd on hand on this beautiful Sunday night. And the Orioles with the early lead, trying to sweep the doubleheader. Only the second doubleheader for the Orioles this year. First for the Indians. Orioles split a twin bill with the White Sox back in May. It was played here at Camden Yards. Manny Machado to lead it off. Manny popped out his first time up. Machado will take the pitch for a strike. 9-game hit streak. He continued it in the first game with a 2 for 4, including his 15th home run of the year. And that pitch is going to be inside 1-1.
Yeah, missed a 2-0 fastball right down the middle, and that's a ball he's been crushing. Home run came on a changeup, fastball for a single. There's the good breaking ball. It's pretty much the only way you can get him out now. I mean, you got to go way in. It's kind of like one of those pitchers meetings. How do you get Machado out? Well, up and in, low and away. It's on the 3-by Weaver card. I mean, that's when guys get hot, and they have good plate coverage, and they have quick bats, and they don't overswing, and they make you throw strikes. High and tight, low and away.
Yep. Manny's hitting everywhere at home and on the road. Almost the exact same average. He'll foul that one back. Manny's got a 313 now here at Camden Yards and a 299 on the road. He's had 10 of his 15 home runs, though, have been hit here at Camden Yards.
And right there, that was up and in. And then, of course, if you're going to throw him a slider away, it better be down or he'll hit it hard.
1-2 delivery, and he did go there, and he got it.
Kind of think he outthought himself. He's got a grin on the way home. I mean, you don't like making it out, but he's looking for something other than this. Pretty much 86 right down the middle or outside middle.
Right into the glove. Chris Parmelee coming up. Parmelee starting at first base in both ends of this doubleheader. He flied out his first time up. Orioles trying to go 5-1 against the Indians on the year if they can come away with a victory here in this second game. The Indians have had real good luck against the Orioles over the long term. They've been one of the better and tougher teams against the O's. Terry Francona's ball club just not playing that well right now. The Indians are 99 and 65 going back to 1995. That's the highest win percentage against another team over that span for the Indians. But it's the Orioles of late putting up the W's. 2-0 delivery on the way, and that ball fouled back.
Yeah, I think they kind of thought where they were going to get back to when I broke in. They had Sudden Sam McDowell, Louis Tiant, Steve Hargan, Gary Bell, Sonny Siebert. And then when you went in there, we lost 3 out of 4. They scored 8 runs. We scored 6. One of the games was a 1-0 game. And because we played pretty well, we only won a game. And that's how hard it was to win, because I think they really felt this year pitching would be what, great starters last year. They'd get Moss. Gomes would come back, have another good year. And they look at the lineup, and that just hasn't happened to this point.
3-1 delivery on the way, and turned on it all the way. We talk about a batter turning on a pitch so hard that he fouls it right straight, literally back. Not a pop-up back, but a foul ball that comes back. Well, that was one of those swings right there.
It was also a ball 4.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Texas scouts aren't here, and they'll go, okay, well, I understand being anxious.
And another one, he gets him swinging.
But see, you get yourself out by not going down to first base and taking the walk. It's one thing to be aggressive, but you need to do it. And for Chris Parmelee, he's been here, he's been successful, and then he's gone back because he expands. And then right here, a little bit better breaking ball. So if they're going to walk you, take it. Let Paredes come up.
And here is Jimmy Paredes. Flied out his first time up in this game, but he's gone 5 for 8 in this series against the Indians. Red hot again. He's had multi-hit games now for 5 consecutive ball games. He picked up a double and a home run and 2 walks in the first game of the doubleheader. Orioles DH. 0-1 delivery to him, and that one back into the screen. 0-2. All the damage coming against the right-handers. Paredes, all 9 home runs against right-handers, and all but 4 of his 36 RBIs have come against them. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way, and he thought about it up high.
Yeah, pretty nice series. 2 walks, a single, 3 doubles. Scored a couple runs, 2-run home run, drove in 2.
But for 1 week where he went into a bit of a slump, that's what he's been doing. Fouled that one away.
And the other thing is with Nolan Ryman on the ball club, if you really didn't think, and I don't think this is the case, that he's not can hit from the right side, you always got Ryman you can DH, and you got a lot of options if you're Buck Showalter.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and that's a broken back ground ball back to the mound. He got jammed on that one. Flip made for the out, and a 1-2-3 inning. We've completed 3. The Orioles have a 2-0 lead. Mets defeated the Rays today 5-3. Justin Masterson back in the rotation. His record now 3-2. He got the win. Run, 5 hits over 5. 3 home runs for Boston. Ortiz had a 1-for-3. Sandoval a 2-for-3 and a couple of RBIs. Blue Jays beat the Rangers 3-2. Drew Hutchison for Toronto with a 5 2/3 inning performance. Donaldson, how hot is he? 2-for-4 solo home run. And the Astros beat the Yankees 3-1. McHugh and Pineda had a pretty good matchup there, both going 8 innings in that game. Pineda's 8-5. McHugh is now 9-3.
Yeah, Hutchison 8-1. Yeah. And ERA of almost 5 runs a game, but it goes 5-6 innings. They score a bunch of runs, and bullpen comes in.
Beautiful night. A few high clouds drifting in and by. Here's Brantley, the 1-0 pitch to him, and he launches one foul. Brantley flied out to left field. His first time up. Brantley with the 3-for-10 now, lifetime off Tillman, which happens to be the same number that he has in this series. Tillman is 9th high in runs in the American League surrendered coming into the ball game. He is also up there in walks, 4th highest. Yet Orioles are 7-7 in the 14 starts that he's had this year, and he's 3 wins, no losses, and a no decision in his last 4 outings. 2-1 is right there, tied him up.
Yeah, really loves the heater tonight, and why not? Good velocity, good command. I don't think he's thrown a changeup. And if he has, maybe one. Curveball's been as good as we've seen.
2-2 delivery on the way, and that one bounced. So a full count, 3-2. 60 pitches thrown. A little more than you'd like to have done.
These are the critical counts for Chris. We talked about the walks are up over 4.4 per 9 innings. He misses with a curveball, and it's fine if you throw this pitch for a strike.
He does, and it'll go to center. David Lowe. Brantley retired, 1 away. O's fans never miss a game update, behind the scenes moment, or exclusive contest. Follow at Masson Orioles on Twitter for all the latest Orioles buzz. Again, that's at Masson Orioles on Twitter. Orioles, by the way, picking up their 5,000th win with that victory in Game 1 today.
That's a lot of wins.
Since 1954.
Yeah.
Murphy, a base hit his first time up. 1-0 delivery. Tillman, only 1 leadoff man on, first 4 innings. That's been a problem for him this year. He's retired only 49%.
There's another thing
of leadoff batters.
Usually almost 50% of the time when they get on, they score. Last year, I bet it was close to probably 68-70%. That's how good he was. 3 runs or less, 20 of his last 21 starts in 2014.
2-1 delivery on the way, and that threw the shifted infield. So Murphy has had 2 singles in the ball game. He's got 2 of the 3 hits on the board for the Indians. See, Tillman last year retired 71% of leadoff batters. So
that's
from 71
that's a big
to 49.
Spread. Yeah, 22%. Just a little thing. And it's command, it's luck. You know, they had that BIP, batting average and balls in play. One year they can be 300. If you looked at Corey Kluber, won the Cy Young last year, 318, which is a little bit higher than the league average, but this year even higher.
1 down, runner on, and Tillman's numbers went up in that department. Average on balls put in play last year was 268, and this year it's 315.
Yeah. And again, for people sitting at home, the league average is right around 300.
Yeah.
So that's how much lower he was last year, and then he's a little bit above the norm.
Santana fly down his first time up, shift on against him, and he'll go up in the air with this to left field. Snyder. 2 down.
So a lot of times people, we're talking to a longtime broadcaster, Vince Bagley, and he said, well, you know, there's a lot of stats, and a lot of stats really tell you the story. If you don't get the first guy out, you get him out 22% less this year than last, and 50% of those guys usually score year in, year out. That's a league average. You're giving up more runs. If the balls put in play are higher, there's another way to give up more runs. So I mean, and then if you walk more people are getting free passes. Pitch count goes up. So numbers sometimes are pretty important.
2 down, and that one fouled back. Good swing by Moss on it. He got robbed on a good play first time around on a 1-3 put up.
Well, Chris Tillman and Matt Wieters, talk about battery mates. He's never ever, and they started in Double-A, about 6 years ago. You never seen a sign he didn't like. Never shook him off.
A 1 delivery foul back.
And you could see this inning. We talked about he hadn't thrown a changeup. He's thrown 3. He got Brantley out on the 3-2 changeup. So all of a sudden, Matt and Chris are incorporating some of the secondary pitches.
0-2, runner at first, 2 down. Orioles up 2-0. So far, it's the pitchers controlling the game. That will be 1 at 92, and that'll be up and away. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Moss. Well, Indians have played their best baseball on the road. They are 18-17. Much better pitching on the road. And a swing and a miss upstairs. So Tillman's got 5 strikeouts, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Are interesting as to leaders on this ball.
Well, they are in a way. I mean, Adam Jones, he missed a couple of games. He's got 10 home runs. So Chris Davis, he's going to hit home runs. Probably the surprise. We got a healthy Manny Machado, then Chris with the RBIs, and then 6-9 Ubaldo Jimenez last year, 7-3. Wei Chen, boy, microcosm of his year is the game he pitched on Friday night where he pitched real well, but O'Day gave up the home run. He didn't get the win, and then Chaz Rowe out of nowhere. Came to spring training. They acquired him in the offseason, and then he's done a great job. Has hit O'Day. I mean, you just look at the Oriole bullpen. They've been fabulous. So they're trending the way they did last year,
yes,
as you mentioned in game number 1.
Chris Davis up. The off-speed delivery will be taken up high. Almost the exact same record. In fact, the Orioles came into the first game of this doubleheader with 1 win more than they had last year. The same number of games.
Yeah, it'll be a little different. I think, I didn't realize that Toronto was, a half a game ahead or out when they got into right before the All-Star break, and then Encarnacion blew the quad out and missed a bunch of time. That ball's a rocket. Here's your cut fastball, and Murata's going, oh, my first start. Almost got somebody hurt. Hopefully that's not the case.
2 ball, 1 strike count. Chris Davis popped out first time up. 7-game hit streak for Chris. 2-1 delivery on the way to him, and there's that off-speed pitch away again, and falls behind on him 3-1. In the minors this year, he gave up 24 walks in 80 innings, 48 strikeouts. Not a particularly good ratio, but a good ERA of 2.79. Chris has got it way back in right field. Hello and goodbye, home run. Chris Davis, the long ball to the flag court, and the Orioles have a 3-0 lead.
Well, that's 86 miles per hour in a hitter's count.
As they say, the crack of the bat.
This ball screamed. You think he hit that ball into the foul territory hard.
Our Maryland lottery contestant, Tony Wright, that's worth $500. Matt Wieters outside.
Now check this out. 3-1. This is a fastball. Ends up inside middle, maybe just in the middle. And I mean, he top spins it into the seats onto the flag court.
Foul back, so the Orioles have 3 runs on 3 hits. Double by Hardy, single by Flaherty. Single by Flaherty drove in 2 unearned runs. This one earned, of course, with a leadoff homer, 4th inning for Chris Davis. 1 ball, 1 strike count. 12 of the 16 that Davis has hit this year have been here at Camden Yards. All of his numbers are way up here. He's hitting over 280 now at home and only $188 on the road, and almost the exact same number of at-bats. 1-2 pitch on the way, elbows up, and it'll miss up to Wieters, who grounded out his first time up.
Well, I think he should sign the extension right after the game. That's what I would do.
I agree.
Mr. Boris,
stay right here.
Stay right here. Right fielder, play anywhere you want.
2-2 chopper, first base. Santana picks it up, goes to the bag. Wieters is retired. On Wednesday, the first 20,000 fans 15 and over at the Rangers 7:05 game are going to get the Orange O's tote bag presented by MLB Network. Enjoy the great summer night out, family and friends here at the Yard. Good seats remain. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
Didn't they make a movie? Hats, gnomes, T-shirts. I mean, this what a homestand. Orioles are playing well. They give you something.
You get a win.
Make wins and gnomes and hats and T-shirts and bags. There.
Life is special. Just ask the gnome. Delivery to Snyder, and he puts one into right field. That one back near the warning track. Back Moss looking. And goodbye, home run. And the Orioles have the long bat going. Travis Snyder. Bring you a glove. You may get a special souvenir. It is 4-0.
Now, a couple of lessons for Mr. Murata this inning. Don't get behind Chris Davis type hitters. He hit a home run, a rocket. Mickey Callaway is going to make his way out, the Indians pitching coach. And anytime you get through the order the second time and your stuff is not electric, and watch this curveball hang. Hand stayed back, foot gets down, and boy, he top spins it. Watch him swing down. And that's how you get the ball to travel. Put backspin on it.
So Murata getting tagged here in his major league debut, as he has given up 2 home runs in the inning to Davis and Snyder, and now has surrendered 4 runs, 4 hits. Of course, 2 of those should not have scored. They were unearned runs, and error in the second that kept the inning alive.
Yeah, that really, I mean, not only did it change the game, but it certainly changes the numbers for him. Kipnis makes his plays off the field, less pitches.
And for Tony Wright, our Maryland lottery contestant, so far so good. It's a couple of home runs, $500 each. Here's J.J. Hardy. Hardy will take the off-speed pitch for a strike. Hardy double scored in the second. Zepchenski is up in the bullpen. He who surrendered 3 hits on 3 pitches Friday night. 0-1 delivery on the way. That'll be taken down low.
Yeah, Chris Tremmy is their manager down at Columbus, and of course the scouting report is that he thought his stuff would translate up here if they play good defense, and he makes those kind of pitches right there.
Murata with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. He's walked none, struck out 2. Orioles with 4 runs on 4 hits off him. 1-2 delivery to JJ, and that will just miss down low. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Orioles have improved their mark to 24-13 here at home on the year. They came into the day 4th best home mark, helped out by the home runs. 2-2 pitch to him outside, full count.
Well, the fans have a lot to do with it. Well, all you have to do is go back to that clinching game. I mean, a sea of orange, 39,000 people last year, and I certainly can testify. A little different ballpark when I played, but nothing like playing well at home and having your people support you.
First walk surrendered by Murata. Maybe the home run of Snyder getting to him, and they're on the phone for the bullpen.
Well, I can't imagine with the off day yesterday and pretty rested bullpen that they will go very long, only because you want to try to win this game.
Trying not to get swept here at Camden Yards.
Yeah, and I think he's going to make a move here with the lefty Flaherty coming to the plate. I mean, it's just what you have to do. And you know Terry Francona, I mean, he's a terrific guy. I mean, won a couple of world championships with the Red Sox. You don't want to embarrass this guy. You know, you bring somebody up, you hope he pitches well. He really doesn't pitch forwardly. They just don't play that well behind him, and he throws a couple home runs.
3 1/3 innings in his major league debut.
Columbus, so he gives up the couple home runs. Gipnis makes the error, then the Orioles take advantage of that. Again, I get a little bit short on the stuff. Really could mix up his pitches, and again, they don't score many runs. It's now time for a little relief for your car too. Visit Jiffy Lube for regular oil changes that help prevent damage and wear to your engine. Jiffy Lube, drive in today. So Mark Zepsinski came in a tie ball game. 9th inning for the Orioles the other night. They're actually the bottom of the 8th, and boy, three batters, 3 hits. Started out with a Paredes double up the gap, and then Davis drove in the run. So the Orioles kind of got on him. You could see throws a lot of strikes. Righties and lefties, gets him out equally, and then he's kept the ball in the ballpark.
So the Orioles with 2 in here in the inning. Runner at first, Hardy. Here's Ryan Flaherty, and Flaherty will take the pitch for a ball. For Ryan against left-handers, he's hitting .310, 9 for 29 against lefties on the year.
And it all started at spring training. New hitting instructor Scott Coolbach, a little wider stance, dropped the hands a little bit.
Flaherty goes the other way with it. Murphy.
And that's the other factor. That's how he's hitting as high as he is. He's used the whole field.
So Zepsinski comes on to get the out, and there are 2 down. David Lowe coming up.
Yeah, he says that's the way I'm supposed to pitch.
Lowe's gone 2 for 8 against left-handers. It was tough. He came out of there and afterwards was asked, well, now what? He says, well, next time I go in, I'm going to try and get him out. And he gave up 3 hits and 3 batters. It was Paredes, Davis, and Parmalee who got the hits off him on 3 pitches. 2 down, runner on at first base, Hardy. And David Lowe will take it. Lowe flying out to center field, his first time up.
Yeah, he's not one of these overpowering lefties, so it really has to command in the sense of the ball has to be in a good location. And you know, they turned Paredes around, which is why they brought him in. He's hitting right-handed. He got a ball up, and then he hung a slider to Chris Davis.
Low, and that's inside. Keep in mind now, with each passing inning, Cleveland continues to add to their innings without scoring. They did not score in 8 innings in Game 1, shut out 4-0. Terry Francona's team did pick up a run in the 8th inning of Game 1 on Friday. 1 ball, 1 strike count with 2 down. And that one will bounce off the plate. 2-1. Now the Indians came in as a ball club to be had. They just weren't playing very well. There's Ryan Webb in the bullpen, and if you're the Orioles and you're going in the other direction, you try and jump on it.
Yeah, you figure, well, it's going to be tough on Friday because you got Corey Kluber. He'd given up 1 run in 14+ innings last year. And he didn't really get hit around, but what he did do, I mean, they got enough hits. Hardy got his first home run in June, and they were hanging around, took a lead. O'Day gives it up, something he doesn't do very often, and they still won.
3 ball, 1 strike count. Two down, runner off first base. And that'll bounce, and that'll be ball 4. So they'll turn the order over. Lowe draws the walk. Zepsinski surrenders it. Runners at first and second base. Terry Francona is going to make another pitching change. You got to try and hold this ball game right where it is at 4-0. He knows his team's just not scoring runs, so you got to try and shut it down right here if the Indians are going to have a chance to get into the ball game trailing 4-0.
.51 games for the Orioles last year. Had signed a 2-year deal. They made a deal with the Dodgers, and then they kept him for 1 day, released him, and he signed with the Indians. Got in shape in AAA Columbus, and then he's been up. So good numbers. Gets lefties. In fact, this year getting left-handers out a lot better than right-handers. At 0.86, righties hitting close to 300. Ground ball pitcher. Throw a lot of strikes, fastball, slider, changeup, and he pitched against the Orioles when they were in Cleveland.
He worked an inning and a third in that game in Cleveland.
Yeah, you like that number right there. That, Gary, 1 out of 6. That's how they grade you when you come in as in this case, a long man here in the 4th inning. But the critical out sometimes as a long man, a stopper, whatever. I usually think the stopper's being the closer, but they got to stop the Orioles rally here in the fourth to have a chance to win this game.
Orioles have runners on at first and second. 2 down. Manny Machado 0 for 2. He has popped out and been called out on strikes. Manny a chance for an RBI. 3:15 with runners in scoring position. There are 2 away. Webb's delivery to him down to third. That's a fair ball. Hardy will make the turn. He will score. Coming to third is Lowe. He's being waved around. He'll come to the plate. Double 2 RBIs, and the Orioles just sizzling when they get somebody on base to score, and they extend the lead to 6-0.
Yeah, Webb throws him the sinker, but it's down and in, and his bat is just too quick. Down and away, maybe. Slider, maybe. Down and in. Watch how quickly he gets to this, and you're playing off the line because you're playing percentage baseball. Great vantage point there. And because Murphy's over in left center, long way to get to the ball. David Lowe can really run, so he easily makes it 6-0. So that 1 for 6 is now 2 for 7.
For the Orioles, that is a tremendously important hit to extend that lead. Coming with 2 away, Machado on at second base, and now he's got a 10-game hit streak. 17 2-baggers on the year for Manny, and he continues the RBI push. He's up to 43 RBIs. Chris Davis has got 45, adding one with a home run in this game. Chris Parmelee has flied out, struck out. There are 2 down, but this third out has been elusive, with a walk and a double coming after they were 2 away, and the pitch outside.
Well, you go up there, you have an idea. Talk about it all the time. Pitchers want to get you to swing at their pitch early in the count, but good hitters don't. Look for what you're thinking they may throw, and if you get that pitch, put a good swing on it. And the Orioles have done it. I mean, just a unbelievably outstanding job all year long.
2-0 count here, and the pitch is outside.
And there'll be games, Gary, as you know, where, hey, guys just make their pitches, and you might have the same game plan, mindset, whatever you want to call it, and it just doesn't work because the stuff's too good, or they make the quality of the pitches. But going up there with an eye, you leave the bench, have an idea. And Manny's got one.
3-0. He'll take it. It is in there for a strike. So Murata in his major league debut will be charged with 5 runs, 3 earned on 4 hits. Zubczynski's going to be charged with a run in the third of an inning. No hits, but a walk. That walk came around to score. That was low. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and that one in the air, left center field, hit pretty good. Bourne, center fielder, looking. Hey, goodbye, home run! First row in the power alley, good for 2 RBIs, and Parmelee stays hot, and the Orioles have an 8-0 lead.
Well, there's a game plan. That's 2 at-bats in a row where he worked the count to 3-1. Last time he chased ball 4. This time he got a great pitch to hit. And what you like, he can play the outfield. He can play it first. And a left-handed hitter that can hit the ball the opposite field in Camden Yards. He can hit a lot of fly balls and end up being home runs. That ball never came down. Wind blowing that way.
A 3-homer game for the Orioles. And Parmelee increases the lead to 8-0.
Yeah, he's a low ball hitter. Check this one out. Outside middle. And just reacts to it. And Ryan Webb can't believe it. Ball just kept going and going and going.
Now Paredes with 2 down, jammed on a pitch. Tony Wright's having a night. Our Maryland lottery contestant, $500 for every Oriole home run, plus the $500 for being selected.
Yeah, Tony said bring in some more. I mean, not that Webb's a fly ball pitcher, but he's going go to the fly ball guys.
Here's the 0-2 delivery, and that's going to be inside. 3 of the 4 home runs hit by Chris Parmelee have been here at Camden Yards, where Parmelee coming into the game was 6 for 13. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Paredes 0 for 2 in the ball game, and a swing and a miss. The Orioles batted around here in the 4th inning, and a big one it was. They added 6 and have an 8-0 lead. Convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit them in store or online at mile1.com.
Yeah, the Rangers lately, I think they've lost 7 out of 8, but all the pitching injuries they've had, Prince Fielder back hitting close to 350. But we'll see. I think they're still a tough team to beat. And look at the Orioles. There you go. Parmalee with a home run. Davis with a home run. And then Travis Snyder hit the high curveball for a home run.
6 runs, 4 hits, 9 came to the plate 4th inning. 3 of the 4 hits were home runs. And the Orioles, big lead. Tillman a lot to work with. Here's Aviles, Bourne, and then Perez due up. Aviles has had 1 at bat, flied out. 3 for 9 lifetime off Tillman. Tillman with no walks, 5 strikeouts so far. Off speed pitch will miss up high.
Yeah, when you're not pitching well, the out of Mike Aviles in the 2nd inning with a runner in scoring position is huge.
Yep.
Because you just sometimes don't know.
Broken bat, pop up to 3rd. Manny Machado. 1 down 5th. Oriole Park, perfect setting for your next group outing. Gather up family, friends, co-workers, colleagues. Have a fun-filled day or night of Orioles baseball. Discounted ticket prices for groups as small as 15. Party facilities to fit up to 1,000. So make your arrangements. Go to Orioles.com/groups. Bourne grounded out his first time up. He will take the pitch up high for a ball. Tillman's 1-0.
They're not picking the ball up.
Nope.
I mean, that ball right on the corner and downhill and 92. 2 extra days, 1 extra work day. Live arm tonight.
Fastball will miss outside. 2-1. Couple of singles by Murphy. And a double by Perez. The only hits for the Indians off Tillman. And that is there for a strike.
You know, I didn't understand this, but or realize that Chris was 2-7. And I just said, you got to, 1 game at a time. And he said, well, I was 0-8 in 2012. And I ended up 8-8. So if he wins tonight, he will have won 4 in a row. But not only did he win 8 in a row, he came to the big leagues and went 9-3. An unbelievably low whip, which is walks and hits per 9 innings.
That'll be played by Flaherty for the out. And Bourne is retired. There are 2 down here in the 5th inning.
Well, I guess if I'm going to talk about anybody that's gone through some adversity, 0-8 in AAA, trying to get to the big leagues, you end up 8-8 there, and then you come to the big leagues and you're 9-3. He's certainly able to turn it around.
7th start against the Indians, 3-2 record against them. He'll try and add to that one. He's got 50 wins, 38 losses in his major league career. Roberto Perez with 2 down and nobody on. And the pitch taken inside. 2 down, bases empty, 5th inning. Orioles won the first game of the doubleheader 4-0. Combined shutout for the Orioles, led by Ubaldo Jimenez, 8 innings. Then Madison Rowe finished it up. There for strike 1-1.
Yeah, Perez with a double right down the right field line, right over the bag on the ground. Almost hit it out of Matt Wieder's glove.
Tillman with that almost non-windup, fouled back as he jumped on it, and a 1-ball 2-strike count on Perez.
Yeah, we talked about Murata had that little hesitation, but so did Chris from the windup. Again, what you're talking about being very little movement, a lot easier to, I think, be a little bit more in rhythm. But watch his left leg just pause a little bit. That's the way he gathers himself, right there, and then go.
1-2, and he got him. That'll be strikeout number 6. He retires the side in order. The Orioles on top. Davis, Wieters, and Snyder on Mazda Do-Ups.
Try to sweep the doubleheader from the Indians. Big hit by Ryan Flaherty after the Giftis error. And then the big bats right there. Chris Davis, 3-1 fastball just smoked into the flag court. And then the hanging curveball. Snyder hits his 3rd home run of the season. Parmelee had a home run to the opposite field. Those are your Geico game highlights. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
And we want to welcome all the National fans who are joining us. The Orioles have the 8-0 lead over the Indians. Nationals splitting their doubleheader today. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning for the Orioles. Home run explosion and a 6-run 4-hit 4th inning. Chris Tillman, Orioles starter. See what he's done with the strikeouts, 5 innings, no runs. Murata, major league debut, 3 runs. Were earned, 5 total though, 3 1/3 innings, and the Orioles have built the lead up here. Parmelee's had a 2 RBI homer. Davis has had a solo shot. Snyder a solo shot, all in the same inning. Chris Davis, his 16th home run, extended his hit streak to 8 ball games. 1 for 2 in this one, and a 1-ball 2-strike count on him. One and 2. 1-2 pitch hit hard and foul. Look out, another one of those where you better be watching the game.
Well, you get comfortable with your swing and they keep throwing it up and in is a little bit of a hole. Who doesn't? And then down and in, it's kind of where the power stroke is. Better bring your glove if you're going to sit down the right field line, and they're going to keep pitching them down and in.
And we welcome those of you joining us on ESPN. Here at Camden Yards, Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer, the Orioles on top of the Indians. And a strike called. So Webb will pick up his second K, and there's one away in the fifth inning.
Well, we mentioned Ryan Webb did pitch at 51 games for the Orioles last year, and he's pretty effective. And he maybe got overused a little bit because it hadn't gotten Andrew Miller, but that fastball runs back, arms go up, late movement gets Chris Davis. And he does have that when he's well rested.
Matt Waiters coming up. Matt's got an 0 for 2. He has grounded out a couple of times in the ball game. The Orioles batted around in that fourth inning. They got 2 unearned runs in the second on a Ryan Flaherty 2 RBI single after a Kipnis error with 2 down kept the inning alive. Matt goes the other way. That's headed to the corner. It will fall in and go to the wall. Murphy over to get it. Matt's going to second. Wieters has got a 1-out double.
One of the guys that could really hurt you to the opposite field. We saw it up at Fenway. And Eduardo Rodriguez, he took him right-handed into the bullpen. It's pretty much just a fastball, stays up just a tad, and then fly ball, but nobody's playing there. They're over in left center. Murphy's had to run into that corner on a couple of occasions tonight.
So Wieters picks up the Orioles' 7th hit of the ball game. Puts himself in scoring position with 1 down. Snyder has already crossed the plate a couple of times, reached on an error score, then got his 3rd home run in the 4th inning. We'll tap that to second. Kipnis will go to first and record the out. Wieters will move over to third, but there are 2 away here in the 5th inning. This is the first time in the ball game the Orioles have had a runner in scoring position where they have not picked up a hit. They're 3 for 4. J.J. Hardy with a runner at third. Hardy has scored twice. He has doubled and walked across the plate both times on base. J.J. has now had a couple of hits, 7 at bats in this 3-game set against the Indians. And that one will be off the plate, literally, for a ball. No, strike called. Headed at the knees. Webb, the 3rd pitcher used in the ball game by the Indians. Delivery and a swing and a miss and a good pitch down and away.
Yeah, Ryan Webb's a big guy, 6'6". And again, he's deceptive. He's going to turn that front shoulder. You'll probably see the numbers, and hard to pick up his deliveries. And already with a slightly closed stance.
0-2 pitch on the way, and Hardy just flails at one that was way outside. So Webb will get the strikeout. That's 3. The Orioles no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. 5 complete. O's on top 8-0. A lot to cheer for Oriole fans, and the buck does stop here indeed. And our Oriole fans happy about that. Look at that. Got the antlers going, got the buck picture on there. And it's also Buck Gnome night.
Well, wait till you hear that chant. That's going to come. Win one for the Gnome. 8-0.
Buck just sits and watches. Happy to do so.
Can't wait to get this night over.
Fouled off the end of the bat.
And it helps that Chris Tillman is about as sharp. Trying to be as sharp as Ubaldo Jimenez was in the opener of this, or this, what do we call it? The first game of this split doubleheader. And because he was outstanding, 8 shutout innings, didn't walk anybody.
That'll be outside. Kipnis had his 20-game hit streak ended in the first game of the doubleheader this afternoon. He struck out twice in this game, and in the 2 games he has struck out 4 times and 6 times to the plate. 1-2 delivery to him. Tillman trying to find that outside corner.
I think he did and didn't get the call, but the curveball has been as good as I've seen it all year long around the strike zone. Matt Wieters has encouraged him to use his changeup and real live fastball tonight.
2-2 delivery on the ground, rolled over on it. Played by Flaherty for the out over to Parmalee.
And when you establish your fastball, which he's done early, because he wasn't getting the curveball or didn't even throw a changeup to the 4th, all of a sudden that changeup does get you to roll over. Doesn't matter how good a hitter you are.
So that'll be Francisco Lindor to the plate. Came up on June 14, doing well with the Columbus Clippers at AAA. Hit .281, 58 games, couple of home runs. Batting second in the lineup. He too has struck out twice. 6 Ks for Tillman. Tillman's high this season is 7. His career high is 9 in strikeouts. 1-0 delivery, and that one in the air towards left center field. Snyder going over, reaching, diving. Oh, what a catch! Travis Snyder in left field comes down with it.
Unbelievable. I talked about it in the opener. Usually right there, I mean, you could see him going, ball coming back to him a little bit, and then out of nowhere. Well, this is a John Lowenstein. I got it. Watch him hold the glove up. Kelly goes, thank you very much.
Fans on their feet.
Well, you know, this is such a good defense. Every time you think you've seen the best play of the year, one of those comes up. I don't know if there's been a better play. I mean, we saw Pierce's play up in Boston in the first inning. Caught the ball and slammed into the wall. That's as good as it gets.
Here is Brantley, the 0-1 delivery to him, and that'll bounce. So Tillman getting some real help here with the 8-0 lead he's got going. Snyder, known as a defensive outfielder. No question about his abilities there. Really, I thought that was a gapper from the get-go.
Well, we saw Lindor do it the other night. Hit a sharp single to left. This one appeared to go up the gap. And he had to reach across his body. It wasn't like it was to the glove side.
2-1 strike count. Brantley with 2 down and nobody on. And nobody celebrating more in the dugout than Adam Jones, who, by the way, did come back and play in game 1 if you missed it. But Adam was there with the arms up, celebrating, big smile. He loves defensive play himself, and he loves to see it played by teammates out in the field. 3-1 pitch on the way, and that's there. 3-2. Watch Jones here on the catch made by Snyder. Yeah, you got it.
Well, normally he's playing right next door to him, and
saw Adam between games. He said, man, I'm tired. That ball fouled away.
He said, I don't really have a whole lot of rhythm in my swing.
No.
And I said, well, what do you expect?
Now, Adams played in the first game. He feels fine. That shoulder that had bothered him is okay. But you got to get back into gameplay to get there as far as the swing's concerned. So that'll take a couple of games. 3-2 pitch on the way. That'll go to third base. Manny Machado on the scoop. Got him. Another 1-2-3 innings, 7 in a row retired by Tillman would not have happened but for this play. Travis Snyder, one to remember, fans on the first base side and everywhere else standing as he comes off the field. Philly.com. Phillies, Cole Hamels open-minded to being traded to any team, including the Blue Jays and Astros. He said, I have not been approached. When I'm approached, then I can make a decision and provide an answer about a team. One thing he did answer, I'm open-minded on everybody and everything. And certainly high on the list.
Well, let's hope he goes to the Astros. Don't want him in the American League East. Oh, Austin Adams saw him in Cleveland, up and down, probably 5 times this year. Power arm, hit 98, maybe even 99 on the gun. Big power breaking ball. That's a guy that didn't even pitch, shoulder surgery back in 2012. So he's got the arm and did a nice job down at AAA, 4 saves, and then the power breaking ball to go with the hard heater.
Aviles has moved over to second base from third. Urshela comes on to play at third base. So they get Kipnis out of there with a hit streak ended and the strikeouts. A little rest for Jason Kipnis here with the Orioles on top in the ball game, 8-0. Ryan Flaherty, he had a big hit second inning, 2 RBI base hit. He has flied out 1 for 2 in the ball game, 3 for 8 in the 3-game series. 0-1 delivery to him. Ryan goes the other way on a pop-up. Urshela going over and just out of play. Right up against the railing, couldn't get over there in time to get set up and bang the elbow as he did so.
Yeah, it makes a nice effort. The ball just looked like it's going to get way up in the stands, and actually it does. And right there, trying not to take it off the face. Well, new ballpark, young player. Find out, and most of them you run out of room in a hurry.
And you do over there in that particular area. You're at Camden Yards. 0-2 count. Ryan Flaherty, who takes the pitch up and away, and the count will go to 1-2.
Yeah, Adams, we told you he throws close to 100, and he doesn't walk a whole lot of guys. Only 4 walks.
1-2. Flaherty thought about it, got fooled, and will be struck out. Adams gets a K on the first batter face.
He's shaking his head. I mean, this ball's over the plate, but it's high. Long day. Scoreboard's 8-0. Strike zone has been known to get a little larger. And then Perez pulls it down into the zone a little bit late, but it works.
David Lowe up. Lowe drew a walk, scored in the 4th inning. He has flied out. Webb an inning and a third, couple of runs, 2 hits. He had 3 strikeouts. 2 home runs off the starter, Murata, and a home run off Webb. All 3 previous pitchers have given up at least a run. 5 off the starter, 1 off Zipsinski, and 2 off Webb. 1 ball, 1 strike count on David Lowe. Orioles really jumping out in front here in this one, getting that big lead, looking for a sweep of this doubleheader against the Indians and a chance for a percentage point move into first place in the American League East.
Yeah, already tied in the loss column, which over the course of 162 is what you really look at.
Orioles last time in first place was April 19. 1-2. But Buck Showalter's team has now won 17 of their last 22 ball games.
And Cleveland will leave here and go down and play 4 against Tampa Bay. And Rangers coming here for 4.
1-2 delivered, and that'll be taken outside. Orioles got help as far as moving up the ladder in the East, with both Tampa Bay and New York losing today. Toronto and Boston both won ball games. The Orioles a chance to win 2. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way, and a check swing. Did he miss it? Yes. He's going to get first base on this. So Low with that speed, no chance for Perez to even get to the ball, much less throw him out. So it's a strikeout, but he's on first.
Yeah, strikeout in a wild pitch, and there's the power hook. So we saw 2 balls go through the legs of Yan Gomes in the first game, balls that bounced. And then right there, the power hook. Perez couldn't keep it in front of him. Really, it's the red badge of courage. You can block those balls. That ball bounced way out in front. And then there's the speed that you talked about, easily safe at first.
And that will bring up Manny Machado. 2 RBI double in the 4th inning. 10-game hit streak. 1 for 3 in this game. 4 for 11 in the 3-game set. And he'll take the fastball inside from Adams. Machado continues to generate just an enormous amount of interest and fan interest all around baseball, much less fan adoration here in Baltimore. 1-0 pitch to him, and that's going to be inside.
Well, he's settled down. I mean, early on, of course, healthy for the first time since 2013. I mean, we had the bat throwing and showing some of his displeasure making outs, and it's almost like took a maturity pill. It's really gotten better. Kind of coincided when J.J. Hardy came back at shortstop.
2-0s inside to him. He's hitting .369 coming into this ball game in the month of June. Manny Machado has driven the ball. He's got 7 home runs in June. That leads the Orioles, as you might expect. 3-0 count. He'll have a green light if he gets one he wants to go after here. His mentor, J.J. Hardy, the Orioles shortstop. 1 down, 1 on, and walked him. 3rd walk picked up by the Orioles in the game. 2 on, 1 away. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 supporting the March of Dimes. The O's have 187 walks for a total of $9,350. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. So Parmalee up. His 4th home run, good for 2 RBIs, came in the 4th inning. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game, getting starts at first base, where he's played so well throughout his career. His 4th start for the Orioles at first, putting Chris Davis out in right field for both games. And the fastball is going to be in there for a strike.
Yeah, we'll see tomorrow. It's Wandy Rodriguez, a lefty, pitching for the Rangers. But he's even played, it doesn't really matter, he played against lefties, even though you have some options. This will be a good test here at 98.
0-1 count.
Loves the ball down in the zone.
That one will be away. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Adams, and the wild pitch, extending, making the inning a little tougher and extending it. Low with great speed at second base. Machado at first. 1-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be fouled back. Parmalee got a pretty good rip on that, and 1-2. Parmalee's hitting over 300 himself for the month of June, and he's added home runs. He's got 3, and make it 4 with the one he got in the 4th inning of this game. The lightning in a bottle routine continues for the Orioles. Get your core people like Matt Wieters, J.J. Hardy, Manny Machado, Adam Jones, Chris Davis. And around them have been a lot of hits and RBIs and home runs.
Well, we did that interview, and I asked him up in Boston. I said, so why'd you sign here? He said, what, winning culture. And that's the other part of the winning culture, is that Dan Duquette and especially Buck Showalter said, I want guys at AAA that can help us win if we have to call them up. And time after time after time, that's what happens. Ron Johnson, tremendous rapport, real good baseball guys. You know, and that's your AAA manager.
1-2 delivery on the way to him. Trying to get around on the 87 pitch that time. Yeah, holds the count 1-2.
He saw something up in the zone that wasn't 98 and said, I'll try to hit this. And the other thing is he's a plus defender. A lot of people, when Chris Davis plays first, don't realize over the years how good he can pick it over there. So you get another guy, if you move him to right, talking about Davis, now you have somebody that can play first as a depth leader. So it's not only, if you're going to play for the Orioles, you better be able to help him defensively.
1-2 pitch on the way. Parmalee takes, ball gets away. Runners will stay. Perez able to keep track of that one long enough.
It's almost like he crossed him up. It looked like a changeup at 92 that pretty much looked right down the middle of the plate. See right there, he doesn't know what it is. And of course, the way he caught it, no possible way of getting that ball called a strike.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Orioles trying to add. They're 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position in the ball game. A little tapper that will go foul and will stay there. 2 ball, 2 strike count. As we showed you in the first game of our doubleheader, the Orioles with that runner in scoring position numbered started the day at 319. If you went back and looked at all the ball clubs, they would be second all time in that category in average. Now that's a new number that came into effect back in 1974, so relatively new, but it's the second best number ever. However, there is a long way to go in this season. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Parmalee battling and will take the pitch up high. So he's worked the count full, 3-2.
Yeah, Austin Adams coming out of Faulkner University down in Montgomery, Alabama. It was actually a shortstop and a pitcher, and then came right through the Indians minor league and then hurt the shoulder. But he was a starter. 6 home runs at 26 starts. Probably threw close to 100 back then.
And the 3-2 runner's not going, and he went to 97 and struck him out.
And he got it up in the zone. A little lift.
So when can you get 4 strikeouts in an inning? When you have a wild pitch on one of them and the runner gets on. You could have all kinds of strikeouts in an inning if you throw enough wild pitches. He has struck out 3 in the inning, but he's not done. Jimmy Paredes coming up. Paredes 0 for 3 in the ball game. Jimmy's got a 6-game hit streak going. You see his numbers with runners in scoring position. That's the best in the majors. Jimmy's right there at the cusp of having enough at bats to qualify officially for the leader categories. So one day he's in the numbers, the next day he's out.
Well, this was 12 runs ago, and this is how the Orioles started game number 1. Caleb Joseph with a single off of Trevor Bauer, and then the home run. Jumped on a high fastball, put the Orioles ahead by 2-0.
1-0 count with 2 down. Paredes threw the heater. That's 97 again. 9 of the home runs that Paredes has hit, 9 have given the Orioles the lead. So he's not just hit home runs, he's hit them when they've mattered in ball games. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Davis hoping to get an at bat. Low, Machado, the base runners, and again there's that heat.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. Trying to hit 96 to 98 up over at the letters. That's not going to happen.
Adams ahead 1-2.
Yeah, very, very rarely do you get on top of that pitch.
One ball, 2 strike count. And wow. Taken down low.
Yeah, I think Ron Culp's even getting a little overmatched here.
Right on that bottom line. Adams has pitched in 3 games against the Orioles this year. He's picked up 7 strikeouts in 3 1/3 innings. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to be fouled back again. Not able to get around quickly enough on it. 2-2.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Terry Francona, I mean, he wanted Austin Adams to get some work, but you want to have him available in the pitch count. What, at 26? A few more pitches than they anticipated, or
like to have been under 20, and would have been if that wild pitch had not allowed Lowe to reach. He's at second, Machado at first. 2-2 delivery again, and that's up high. So again, a full count. This time with 2 down, the runners will be going. This will be the 7th pitch of this at bat for Jimmy Paredes from Adams. 3-2 delivery. Runners go, and the ball's put up in the air, headed to the seats foul.
Well, you get an idea of how strong Jimmy Paredes is. That ball's over his head, and I mean 333 down the line here, but a lot of ballparks, if he had happened to hit it fair, which he didn't, ball might have gone out of here.
He does not get cheated on swings. You get the full force of a very powerful hitter.
Yeah, we saw that when he came up last year, end of the year. A lot of big hits, quick bat. I mean, all you got to do now is throw him a breaking ball under the strike zone, but I don't know Adams can do that. And when he did, struck out David Lowe, and it went all the way to the backstop.
3-2 count. Runners will be off. They go, and he will foul one back again. So Adams trying to find a way to get Paredes out of there. Mano a mano here with a fastball on a fastball hitting Jimmy Paredes.
If he gets him out, it's going to be at least 30 pitches. And he's at 13 balls out of the zone and 16 in.
Runners getting their exercise. 3-2 delivery again. They go. Come on back, boys. Nick Self at home. Paredes coming into this season at the major league level only had 5 major league home runs. That came in 430 at bats. Paredes, of course, already well over that. He's got 9 this season. It's just an amazing and surprising performance Paredes has put on for the Orioles. Adams, try it again. 3-2 taken, and the ball gets away. Doesn't matter. And the bases are loaded, so Paredes wins that battle as he gets the free pass. What an inning. He's had 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. And he's not out of the inning.
Yeah, and there's nobody up behind him in the bullpen. And Mickey Callaway, I mean, what are you going to do? If he takes a little bit off, he becomes more hittable. Probably overthrowing, and you can just kind of tell by where the ball is going. And then when he does get it down, not getting those strikes. And then the problem, if you're not commanding your stuff, and that's obvious, you can see 84% fastballs. Chris Davis wants the ball away, so he may have to pitch to throw strikes into his power. We'll see already a home run, but he got double in the first game, up the gap in left center.
Terry Francona's lost Adams for tomorrow, probably with the 31 pitches thrown, so he wants to leave him in, try and finish this thing up. Bases loaded. 2 down. Chris Davis pops it up, third base. Urshela is over in foul territory, and he will put it away, and Adams gets out of a problem. So no runs, no hits. The Orioles will leave the bases loaded, and the Orioles on top of the Indians 8-0. Miller Lite. Take a good look at this one. You'll have a lot of chances to do it on the replays. Travis Snyder, Lindo was the batter, and Snyder made one of the great catches of this baseball year as he put himself out and hauled it in to the delight of his starting pitcher, Chris Tillman, and the rest of the Orioles. Now the question's going to be, because this is Gnome Night, and the Gnome's all over the place, and the Orioles sweep a doubleheader, is that Gnome going to have to hang around the clubhouse and the dugout and the bullpen?
Well, I can tell you one place in the Oriole locker room it won't be hanging.
The manager's office.
Yes.
Yes. But you know, superstitions in baseball run deep. And the pitch is in there for a strike.
Yeah, the only thing that would be worse about that Gnome is if that instead of having a stocking hat, it would be a baseball hat backwards. That would really make Buck happy.
1-1 delivery to Murphy, and he thought it was in.
Remember Robert Andino, the first time Buck joins the ball club, whatever, right around August 2011, and Andino had that hat off to the side.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Pedro Strop had that, too.
Yeah, yeah. The triple look.
Not for long, though.
No.
Fouled away, 1-2. For David Murphy tonight, the 2 singles, 2 of the 3 hits. That's all the Indians have. Orioles 8-7-0. The Indians 0-3-1. And another one. He's doing a lot of one-handed swinging here on pitches that are away while he tries to find one middle in to drive.
Well, there haven't been a whole lot of middle in pitches. Chris has been outstanding. I mean, to lefties, look at the glove right there, Weeder's glove. That one way off the plate, but he hit it almost all night long.
It's 104 pitches.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
7th inning. 2 ball, 2 strike delivery on the way, and that one's looped to center for a base hit. So Murphy's 3 for 3 off Tillman, which makes him 8 for 18 in his career. Follow the Orioles wherever you are with MLB.com at bat, #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replays, broadcasts, statcast, and more. MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. There's McFarland added as the 26th for the second game of the doubleheader. And Cody Allen in the bullpen for Cleveland.
And that's the closer. Going to get some work.
Santana going after one, drives it left center field. Snyder.
Yeah, who else?
1 down.
David Lowe says I'll defer to the guy that made probably the best catch in the outfield all year that I've seen live.
So Tillman kind of rocking along here with this big lead. The Indians.
Well, it's great to
down.
Yeah, it's great to pitch with these leads. You don't really change anything. You know, the one pitch won't beat you. It's a great time to really use all your pitches. And
Brandon Moss first ball hitting, long run. Snyder and Machado. Machado will get over there. Indians have 1 foot on the bus. 2 down.
And you do your part by throwing strikes.
Yep. Swing away. Get plenty of room to work with.
Well, you look at the scoreboard. If you're just turned in, it's 8-0, and you go, okay, well, this game had never really that close. 0-0 going into the 3rd. He gets Aviles, who's going to step to the plate, chance to drive in the run. They get a 1-out double in the 3rd. Then he gets Kipnis, leading the American League in hits, and Lindor to go out. So there were chances where this game, obviously I'm not sure they're going to get 8 runs, but it could have changed a little bit. Put some pressure on Chris Tillman, and he pitched out of harm's way.
1-0, 2 down. Aviles has flied out and popped out, and will take it for a strike in the outside corner. Now, because we're in the 7th inning, you got to start thinking, all right, are the Orioles going to shut the Indians out both ends of a doubleheader? Indians have been shut out 6 times on the year. Shut out in that first game 4-0. Ryan Flaherty over to get it and bobbles it. Makes the play still and gets the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. 7th inning stretch time. Game 2 of our doubleheader, and the Orioles looking for the sweep where all goes right. Camden Yards. And The Orioles maintain an 8-0 lead. Leading in this one by a score of 8-0. We talk about hitters who press one another when they're hitting. The guy in front of you, you want to match him. Same thing, Jim, happens for pitchers.
Yeah, well, it does. I saw Chris Tillman in between kind of actually watching TV. I don't know, some hunting show or whatever, relaxing. And I said, well, they saved some runs for you. You got only four for Ubaldo. And then I said, just pitch good. And I said, or actually I said, good luck. And I said, forget that, just pitch good. So the bottom line is, if he wins tonight, it looks like he's going to, that's 4 in a row. Jimenez, now all of a sudden, I mean, the Oriole train is just rumbling along, because now you got the West coming in, 4 against Texas, then you go to Chicago, Minnesota. So playing well. If you win tonight, you'll be 18-5, something like that. So out of your last 23 games, and running like a new one.
Yep. And you've got the hitting, which obviously has been on for the Orioles. The starting pitching, it trailed off a little bit, and how deep they were going into ball games. Now that's picking up again. Cody Allen. Allen out of the bullpen to work. Matt Wieters up against him, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. Adams worked an inning, strange inning. He had 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, got out of it with the bases loaded. Rayburn's in right field. Ryan Rayburn for Moss.
Yeah, Cody Allen, I mean, again, another hard thrower, 14 out of 15 in saving games. So they will be going to Tampa Bay for 4. He's coming in to get some work.
1-1 delivery on the way, foul back. Chicago St. Louis in that rain delay. For those of you watching on ESPN, we're back here at Camden Yards. Orioles winning the opener of the doubleheader this afternoon 4-0, and then this nightcap they've got the 8-0 lead, looking for their 41st win. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Matt Wieters. A double his last time up, 1 for 3. He'll be followed by Snyder and Hardy. The Orioles looking for their 4th consecutive win. Wieters will take it. It will just miss away. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Big crowds here at Camden Yards for this doubleheader. There were 45,600 plus for game 1, and it's going to be pretty close to that here for the night game. 2-2 pitch, swung on a miss, got a heater up and away.
Yeah, explosive fastball, and so you're looking for something. It's going to be hard, but in the back of your mind, he's got a good breaking ball, and then just runs right out of the zone. Good location, up and away. Great movement.
Travis Snyder gets a nice hand for that fine defensive play that he made in left. He's had a home run. His 3rd came in the 4th inning, reached on an error and scored, and he has grounded out. Allen's delivery to him, 1 away, is back into the screen.
Yeah, nice little swing there. Home run came on a 70-mile-per-hour curveball off of Murata. Now, people are saying now, okay, so now the Orioles, what do they need? How do they upgrade the Orioles? I don't know if there's a definitive answer.
Right now, no. 0-1, certainly what they've been after. The corner outfielders, where they've had to shuffle players, but the shuffling has produced some pretty darn good numbers. DH, Paredes has covered that. You can't take him out of the lineup. You got Jones back in center. Here's the 1-1 delivery on the way, and that is in there for his strike.
Yeah, the bullpen about as good as you can get. Starters, as you mentioned, they could be a little bit better, but they're all healthy.
And trending back to positive. Not that there was a big negative knockoff. There wasn't. And you got Jonathan Scope waiting to return at second base. That one had great bite down and in. The flip will be made. Strikeout 2-3. And there are 2 down.
Now you get an idea. Cleveland, a much better ball club when they can get Cody out and they were the lead, very much like Kansas City. You know how you beat them, get an early lead, don't ever get to Herrera and Davis and Holland. So the good news, we looked at Ubaldo Jimenez, won his 7th game, 7-3. Complete turnaround from 2014.
2 down, nobody on. Bottom of the 7th inning, J.J. Hardy, double walk. 2 runs scored, and he is struck out. Hardy will take it for his strike. Right back at it tomorrow night. Texas in for 4. Bud Norris, Wandy Rodriguez will be the openers in that one. 6:30 O's extra, 7 o'clock for the ball game.
Yeah, Jeff Bannister coming over as the manager, bench coach in Pittsburgh. What a job he's done with them, considering all the injuries. Well, they'll come into town.
1-1. McFarland's been up in the bullpen now for a full inning. And Hardy will take the pitch outside.
Well, he has to go back to the minor leagues unless they would make a roster change. So he's probably going to get the pitch. There's Tillman, excellent. One of his better starts, better than the one he had against Cleveland. About 3 weeks ago.
Hardy will take it on the outside corner, and it frames the black. 40,006 the attendance announced for second game of the doubleheader. 40,006. 2 ball, 2 strike count with 2 down. Allen on the way to Hardy, and he goes after one upstairs, and he strikes the side out. 1-2-3 inning. We've completed 7 here at Camden Yards. The Orioles 8, the Indians nothing.
Starting pitching just terrific. Jimenez, no walks, 7 strikeouts, 8 innings. The first one, Tillman comes right out and backs it up. Great fastball, sky hook working tonight, up in the zone. The swooping curveball doesn't walk anybody. Meanwhile, the Orioles are scoring 8 runs, so a lot of fastballs. You can see had a great one tonight. So again, the curveball, maybe not as many, but when he threw the curveball, probably the best percentage. So those are your T-Mobile game changers. And of course, T.J. McFarland comes on, the 26th man. A lot of fastballs, sinkers, sliders, and occasional changeup. Gets lefties out, righties a whole nother story. They're hitting over 500. The perfect guy to bring in when the opposing lineup. There are the numbers, the righties, lefties, just a little over 100. You match up well against the left-handed stacked lineup.
Michael Bourne will be up against him and will foul the first pitch off. So with Tillman going the 7 innings in the ball game, that's 7 innings from both starters in this doubleheader. In fact, Jimenez went 8. The Orioles had only 1 start of 7 innings or more through 25 games coming into this doubleheader. Now they get 2 in 1 day. Hardy's got it, makes the play, and Bourne is retired.
Yeah, TJ, he's an excellent fielder. He can't get the glove down because it's hit pretty sharply, and just a kind of a this is the old school shift. Play him up the middle. You're not on the other side of second base, and you still get to it.
1 down here in the 8th. Perez batting 9th. Their catcher's had a double. He has struck out. 4 hits in the ball game for the Indians. That's it. Being shut out again.
We're talking about that over 500 number. T.J. McFarland, Mike Aviles was talking about how when he doesn't overthrow his pitches, how much the ball sinks. It's almost like he's trying to maybe get more velocity than movement, and for him, maybe less is more. Yeah, sharpened the slider, went down to AAA last year, back and forth to work on that. But just let it sink.
That'll be inside. Perez has not hit the lefty so far this year. 194 against left-handers, struggling overall. The average just over 200. Uh-oh. They're everywhere.
It looks like a relief pitcher. Towel around his neck. Make him going out. Stu Miller, the great Stu Miller. Had the great changeup. The only thing important in one of his arm is just make sure that his neck could move, and they don't get buck any kind of a draft around the neck. Not the job he's doing.
3-0 count. And that's in there for a strike. Didn't like it. Indians obviously want to get rid of that goose egg. I mean, enough of that so that they can move on, feeling as though the offense, at least, even if they don't win this game, at least got it started again.
And Perez saying, hey, why didn't we get those pitches? Probably a good question, but
not to be answered.
No.
3-1 delivery, and that's in there for a strike as well. He drops the bat. 3-2.
Well, come on. I know you don't play a lot, but it's 8-0. It's the 8th inning of a second game of a doubleheader. You better start swinging the bat. If you're going to take the borderlines, take another one and you go back and get the gear on. That's just the way the game's played. And for T.J. McFarland, just make sure it's somewhere in the zone and let it sink. Relax.
And a ground ball foul outside of third this time. So the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. McFarland called the good soldier. Yeah, always ready to go up and down AAA in the Major League Ball Club.
Of course, Buck said, I don't know about that. I mean, it is the big leagues, and you do get to play here, and he loves them because he can extend innings and pitch more than one.
And that one towards the gap. He's going to get that one in. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. Chased down by Lowe. Perez going into second base. A stand-up double. So he's got 2 doubles, 2 for 3 in the ballgame. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. 3-homer ball game for the O's, all coming in the 4th inning when they got 6 runs on 4 hits. And the Lucky Gnome is everywhere, given out to the first 25,000 fans, 15 and over. Second game, a much publicized Buck Showalter Gnome game. 1 down. There's Shello. This will be his first at bat. Kipnis came out, and that's going to be a base hit into right field. Flaherty couldn't quite get it. Over to third base goes Perez. And the Indians will cover the corners here with 1 out.
I think the other thing is, good soldier or not, T.J. McFarland, he's going to have to, and may not hang around a lot because he's the 26th guy. You got to get righties out every once in a while, and you can't do it up in the zone. And if you're going to, as good as he can be, and much length you have a guy, Kevin Gausman, who can do the same thing. You just want him to start. So maybe the last 2 months of the season, maybe Gausman comes up either as a starter or as a long man. He can certainly do that, get his innings, and then come up, and he can be the good soldier.
Francisco Lindor, one down. Ground ball. Flaherty charging. Tag. One. And he got the double play. Outstanding play by Ryan Flaherty. They're going to argue a little bit about whether the tag was put on Urshela as he went by. Flaherty reaching. Second base umpire Brian Knight said he got him. And that's the double play. Terry Francona's hanging on here. Maybe we'll challenge this. He's asked the home plate umpire to hold it here. So the Orioles stand around waiting, watching.
I mean, I got to think he has to come out. I mean, you're down by 8. I don't know if he tagged him. You can't really tell from that angle. That won't change it.
And it'll stay as a double play. And the Orioles have an 8-0 lead. PNC for the achiever in you. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use at Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer with you here at Camden Yards on a beautiful Sunday night, made more beautiful for O's fans by that 8-0 score.
Yeah, Zach McAllister originally signed with the Yankees. Austin Kern traded to the Yanks. He came to the Indians. He started. He's relieved, at least as of late, especially last year. Much better out of the bullpen. Hard thrower. Again, one of these guys that throws in the mid-90s. Sharp breaking ball. Those are the numbers. Keeps the ball in the ballpark.
Ryan Flaherty will lead it off against him and take the pitch down low. Flaherty, 2 RBIs, base hit, second inning. He has flied out, called out on strikes. Murata, major league debut for Cleveland. 5 runs, 3 earned, 4 hits in 3 1/3 innings. He is their pitcher of record. Flaherty fouled that one off the mask. Chris Tillman, the no runs, 4 hits over 7. Pitcher of record for the Orioles. Bullpen has given up 3 runs in the game for the Indians. And that's off his leg. Look at that ricochet. And he didn't flinch out there. I don't know where that hit him, but McAllister acted as though nothing happened. He turned around to see where the ball went. He thought it went behind him. Instead, it went off first base side, and he said it hit him in the bottom of the foot.
Good save, but only if you're Ryan Flaherty. So the bullet, and luckily he's not hurt.
So a base hit. Flaherty's 2 for 4 in the game.
Yeah, very difficult for Zach McAllister at 6'6" to get the glove down where that ball was going to hit him.
So David Lowe will get a shot against him. Lowe has a walk, a run scored. He has struck out, flied out. David will go after the high heater upstairs for a strike. Orioles looking to move into first place for the victory by percentage points against Tampa Bay. Lost today. Foul ball back. Count goes to 0-2 on Lowe. Showalter, homestand, certainly starting out well as the Orioles get the win on Friday. Rained out Saturday. Day-night doubleheader today, and it looks as though they're going to sweep. And that's on the inside corner.
Close enough. Scoreboard. Boy, in the old days, if you took that pitch after swinging at one about, what, letter high, umpire would go, hey, you got to count to 2 strikes. Probably a little bit inside. And you can see, Perez moving the glove back.
Manny Machado.
Finally, we got a call.
Machado continuing his hit streak to 10 games, double in the 4th inning and 2 RBIs. He's 1 for 3 and a walk in the ball game, 4 for 11 in this 3-game set against the Indians. 1-0 count, 1 down. Not holding the bag here on Flaherty, with a score being what it is. And that's going to miss a little bit outside. Rory Machado getting over 330 against the Indians on the season. Couple of home runs, 5 RBIs in the 6 games played. The Orioles are going to go 5-1 against the Indians on the year. Here's the 2-0 delivery, and that one's going to be up and in.
Yeah, they hit Zach McAllister around, and he pitched 2 1/3 innings, 4 hits. Struck out, 4 of them, but gave up 3 runs in Cleveland. But he does have a power arm, and yet to throw a breaking ball.
The 3-0 pitch is in there for a strike. The Orioles, with that win in game 1, also win another series. They, in the last 8, they haven't lost a series. But Showalter loves those. They've won 7 and tied 1. And threatening, of course, to sweep not only the doubleheader but the series. That's taken for a strike. Machado is leaning towards first base. He'll come back in. Right on the corner. 3-2, 1 away. Flaherty off first. Full count delivery by McAllister. A ground ball to the middle. There's one on the flip by Lindor over to Santana, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. Nobody left on base. 8-0. Can the Orioles shut out the Indians in both ends of a doubleheader? Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Gary Thorne and Jim Palmer, 8-0 lead. We go to the 9th inning of this ball game. The Orioles looking for a shutout on each end of the doubleheader with the Gnome Knight bringing the Orioles some pretty good luck. And McFarland on to try and finish it up. I don't know, Brantley and Ron Culpa, home plate umpire, having a long discussion here. And Culpa doesn't look real happy about it.
Well, there was a pitch the last time that Tillman was pitching that probably telling him he thought the strike zone was big, and it's gotten a little bigger. I actually think he's been pretty consistent.
Yep. Brantley's 0 for 3 in the ball game. And in case you're wondering, the last time that the Orioles shut out a team on both ends of a doubleheader back in September of 1974. And guess who it was? Yep, Cleveland Indians.
Really?
It was September 6, 1974. The Orioles won games of 2-0 and 1-0. And they're trying to shut out the Indians again on both ends of a doubleheader. 1 ball, 1 strike count. And that pitch is there for a strike.
Yeah, I can't imagine if you're T.J. McFarland and when you're on the club and you sit in the bullpen and you watch Britton throwing 95 to 97 and it sinks, you're going, well, I can do that. I can maybe overthrow it and it'll still sink. But there aren't too many Zach Brittons. So most sinker guys, they say when you're strong, the ball doesn't sink. You usually pitch better when you throw some pitches, get a little bit tired, or better rhythm. Can't imagine getting tired in the second or third innings, but
no.
But it's kind of what the verbiage is.
2-2. Look at that. Oh, hits the base. The shift had it perfectly played, but the base got in the way. So a base hit for Brantley in the 9th inning. He gets a leadoff single.
He's got his game face on. I mean, the ball's hit real hard, but Hardy's going to catch it until it hits the base and bounces over his head. Simple as that.
So the Indians get their 7th hit of the ball game. Those of us here happy to be with you. ESPN struggling with the rains with the Cubs and the Cardinals. Here is David Murphy, and Murphy will take the pitch for a strike. Murphy's already 3 for 3 in the ball game. Cleveland trying to get that goose egg off the board. Orioles have out hit him 8-7, but have the 8-0 lead. Shift on, double play depth in the infield against Murphy. McFarland gets that one hit right on the top of it, foul tipped 0-2. Oh, 2 count. And that one will be a little late on the heater. Murphy fouls that one away. Murphy, the left fielder in this ball game for the Indians, and an 0-2 count.
What, his 8th at bat against left-handed pitching? They platooned that much with Ryan Rayburn.
And he's going to get a base hit out of the reach of Hardy. Runner will go to second. Lowe will get it back in. So the Indians get the first 2 on here in the 9th inning. Back-to-back singles for Cleveland, and they now have as many hits as the Orioles do. And Buck Showalter checking on the bullpen.
Don Cheaty. Yeah. Well, the 0-2 pitch, obviously you don't want to make that pitch. You probably wanted to throw him a 2-seamer down and in, get him to roll over, but he left it up. And if you're not a hard thrower, that's not going to work. So the other difficulty, and I know it sounds like I'm making excuses, but they use a different ball, the AAA. So just think about it. Every time you go back and forth, seams are different, feels different, and then you come to this level, different feel, and these guys can hit, even if they've been shut out all day.
Carlos Santana, 3 fly balls to left field in this game for Santana, who's 1 for 11 in the 3-game series. The Indians are 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position tonight. The Orioles 3 for 7. Haven't been a lot of chances. Both teams have left 5 on base in the ball game. 0-1 delivery. McFarland will get the slow roller. You try and get 1 out if you can. Manny throws. Oh, got him. Manny Machado with Parmalee stretching over there at first base, and they get it out.
Well, the only way you can throw him out, Santana, for a catcher or a former catcher, runs well right here. Brooks Robinson. And then the nice stretch by Chris Parmalee. Go get it. And he does.
Wow.
Perfect throw.
And not even that close to be a question. That arm, that shortstop arm of Machado at third, shows up when needed, and Parmalee continues to play that solid first base. Here is Ryan Rayburn. This will be his first at bat, and the Indians do have a chance to get on the board with only one away. Runners at second and third as they move up with the ground ball out. And Rayburn try and bring one or two home. Brantley the lead runner. Murphy on at second base. 1-0 pitch, swing over the top of the McFarland delivery.
Yeah, in this juncture of the game, 8-0. They're playing back. They're looking for outs. Need two. Get to go home. Long day. Everybody here, what, about 9? Probably earlier.
1-1 delivery on the way, and that's in there for a strike of the knees. 1-2.
Well, TJ would love to be able to get a tough out Ryan Rayburn to strike out. Make a better pitch than he did to Murphy.
And that'll be away.
See, that's where he tries to throw a little bit harder, and what happens is you get down the rubber. Now all of a sudden your arm is dragging and no chance of pitching down in the zone, which is where his strength is. What you'd like to do is stay back, speed up the arm, not the body. Easier to get it down and get more movement.
2-2 delivery. Rayburn struck out only 20 times on the season. And tomorrow, 4-game series with the Rangers begins. Bud Norris and Wandy Rodriguez. Our coverage on MASN 630 O's Extra, presented by Southwest. Game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN. Rangers for 4. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Second and third occupied. Got him on a called third strike.
Yeah, he thought it was low, and it probably was. And Brantley's not going to like it because he argued. Ron Galpa's going, hey.
Terry Francona's getting into it pretty good with the home plate umpire. Has told him to be quiet. Here he comes. He wants to be thrown out, and he is. Just a situation where Francona had enough all day as far as he was concerned.
And I'm sure he's arguing, hey, the game's not over. We used to have 2 outs. Now we have 1. But I'm not sure you want to get suspended by. So where is the crew chief?
Well, the crew chief isn't working. Larry Vanover was the crew chief who had the plate.
Yeah,
so the
Knight.
crew chief is Brian Knight for this game.
Because normally you just want Ron Galpa. Yeah, you let the manager make his point. Already threw him out and then just turn away, and didn't even know he was coming, or if he did.
This game is for lip readers only. Here's Aviles. There are 2 down. The Orioles 1 out away from shutting out the Indians for 2 games, 1 day in the doubleheader. Aviles 0 for 3 in the ball game. McFarland, the 0-1 delivery. Ball will be put up in the air. Right field. Davis is there, and the Orioles have 1-2. Here in the 9th inning, no runs on 2 hits. 2 are left in scoring position. And for the first time since 1974, the Orioles have shut out a ball club on both ends of a doubleheader. It was the Indians then, and it is the Indians today, as they come away with the 8-0 win. Let's take a look at our Lexus of Towson drive of the game as you take a look at Travis Snyder going by.
Yeah, he kind of top spins a hanging curveball, backspin it right into the seats. Makes everybody happy. They got their gnome, they got their home run ball, and then not only that, the great, about as good a catch as you'll ever see in left center field.
Our Lexus of Towson drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 volume Lexus dealer. 5 years running. See why at lexusoftowson.com. Orioles won at 8-0 the final.